Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you again for tuning in, and today's video will be about the waterproofing of the Raspberry Pi 3. So today we will be waterproofing our Raspberry Pi 3, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, I got all my supplies in the mail this week, and we have our Raspberry Pi 3B fully hooked up, working there on the monitor. I'm going to take a amount of Corrosion X and pour it in here, and we will waterproof the Raspberry Pi 3. And of course, I'm going to waterproof or add some Corrosion X to some of the connectors on here just to make sure I have proper connectivity to the TV. So hope you guys really enjoy this video. So just a little bit of background information before I really get into it. I've been waterproofing electronics now for about the past 8 years. I started waterproofing basic transmitters, 27 megahertz, as you've seen in my previous videos. I've waterproofed my Mamba Max Pro ESC for my Traxxas RC cars, and also the Mamba Max the Mamba Monster unit, waterproof that. And so a few years ago, I think it was back in 2013, I asked Castle because they start waterproofing their electronics, and lo and behold, most of the RC manufacturers started waterproofing or coming up with some type of waterproofing of ESCs and other electronics. So thank you guys, Castle, Traxxas, and whatnot, for taking a step up. And you guys have probably seen a lot of other RC videos or waterproofing videos in which, in fact, let me shut this down first. You guys already know it's working. You guys have seen other waterproofing videos. Some companies or other YouTubers are using Plastidip, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that as to why you don't want to use any type of Plastidip. And this is the only version of Corrosion X you really want to use for waterproofing, and I'll explain that why in just a little bit. All right, so now that we've fully shut down, I've got my little inline connector. We're going to disconnect. And there goes the HDMI, come on out of there. And there goes the power cord. Here's my memory card for noobs. Got that out of there. All right, so let's do this. Ah, you gotta love that smell. Gotta love that smell of that Corrosion X. There is nothing else like it. Oops. Left a little something in there that shouldn't be in there. Let's take that off. There we go. Okay, so what exactly is Corrosion X and how does it work? Well, Corrosion X displaces water. It displaces it and it repels it. I've spent a lot of time on the phone with the manufacturers of this stuff, and there are some great stories about Corrosion X. What it is, it boils down to some type of polar bounding. I'm not exactly sure of the exact terminologies and whatnot. So water tries to come to it and it pushes it back out. Now, if you guys have seen some of the other waterproofing videos and whatnot out there about individuals saying they're using Corrosion X, Well, hopefully they're telling the truth, because if they're actually using it correctly, excuse me, you will notice that this has a really nice film on top of it. When you waterproof your motherboard or this kind of device, like the Raspberry Pi, it will become very, very shiny, looking like new mint money. Now, there's a reason why you don't want to use a Plasti Dip or any other versions of Corrosion X. There is the heavy duty Corrosion X, which I'm getting ready to make reference to right now. It comes in the bluish, greenish, teal can. Don't use that version, because the heavy duty Corrosion X is really made for boats, things that will be exposed to a lot of hard weather conditions, hard water, salt water. It's okay to use on metals that are going to be outside, like the door hinges on your garage door outside, metals on a boat, poles, things that are always out there that really don't have moving parts. Please do not use any of those other versions for electronic components that produce heat, because it will mess it up, just like the Plasti Dip. Because the heavy duty Corrosion X, and there's a few other ones that they sell as well, leaves an additional film or coating on top of it that can prevent it from emitting the heat that the electronics need to breathe or run. All right, so I'll let this set in here for a little bit. Now, anytime you're using Corrosion X, you can expect this stuff to last for about a good 6 months to a year. Maybe just a little bit more. It can last underwater for about maybe a good 3 to 6 months, being fully used in the water. If it's going to take a little dab here and there or whatnot of water, or extensive weather conditions and so forth, then it can last about a good maybe year or so. All right. Now, the process that I use is actually the dipping technique. This allows the electronic parts to soak up as much of the Corrosion X as possible. Sometimes I like to move it around, swirl it around a little bit. This is what has always worked for me, running $500 RC cars and you running them through water and the electronic parts as well. So some people will probably just soak it in there for a little bit, but you want to let it soak up as much oil as possible. Okay, so we're going to pull this out and we're going to let it drip dry for a couple of hours, and then we'll be back to fully sync this up. And I know this is kind of weird for a lot of people, because you guys are used to seeing electronics malfunction in any type of liquid. So it was odd for me at first, but well, it works. I live by this stuff. And Scott, if you're listening, Scott from Cobra Firing Systems, we'll be working on a video pretty soon where I waterproof. Here, let's go back to this. I will be waterproofing this in the near future. I will be waterproofing it. It can be done. So, yeah. Well, actually, I probably don't need to waterproof this, but it's probably the module itself. But that's going to be an exciting video. As soon as I look at the schematics on how to open it up and take care of it, it will be done. All right, so back to the Raspberry Pi. Why am I doing this? Heck, it's fun. I love waterproofing electronics. And the one reason why I decided to go ahead and I thought this product, the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, was actually the great model for me to waterproof, is because the board is already exposed. I didn't have to unscrew anything, take a case off, get to it. When you buy it as is, it is already fully exposed. So there was no additional work for me to do to it. I love this unit. I'm actually building different arcade systems off of this unit. I have a 64 gig card, a 128, and I just purchased a 256 memory card that I need to image and format and get that up and running for this device. So again, if anybody out there is even using a Raspberry Pi unit, yes, you can use a card bigger than 64 gigs. Okay. All right. So we're going to let this drip dry for a few hours. This is the best technique to do it. You know, let it swirl around a little bit, let it sit in there. Don't just dip it in and pull it right out. You want to make sure that every little nick and cranny is on here. So for those of you who are watching this video and you're new to the whole idea of Corrosion X and electronics, yes, it is guaranteed to work. Now, the waterproofing industry, I believe the U.S. military, for example, they spend about $23 billion a year on waterproofing submarines, boats, and things of that nature. And when they manufacture this stuff, they really didn't have an intent for it. Well, it wasn't intended to specifically waterproof electronics. That's an inadvertent side effect that they found out, you know, many years later. And just to tell you a funny story, there was a guy who was actually selling Corrosion X. He went to a boat convention. I believe it was down in LA or Long Beach somewhere. And he was selling this stuff. And a few of the guys there, they got upset. They kicked him out and they banned him from ever going back. Reason being is because if Corrosion X ever hit the main market, it would put a lot of companies out of business. I've actually talked to the manufacturer of this stuff. I said, hey, how come you guys don't sell this? And this was many years ago, back in 2011, 2012. I said, how come you guys don't offer this stuff in Walmart or Target or Home Depot? And they said, well, because we were told if we were selling our product in Walmart or some of the other, you know, main chains, it would put the other companies out of business. And they are correct. If Corrosion X wasn't very mainstream, it would put WD-40 and several other companies who manufacture oil out of business because there is no other choice than Corrosion X. I live by this stuff. I live by their Stain X. I live by their, where is it? I have it around here somewhere. I live by their Speed X. I live by all of their products because I am a Corrosion X fanboy. So, all right, guys, we're gonna let this dry off. I'll get this plugged in. Just a few minutes. So we're just gonna let this drip dry, and you guys will see this working. And all right, now that we've let our Raspberry Pi dry for a number of hours, and as you can see, there is here, guys maybe see it. This thing is really shiny. See that high gloss finish? That's how you know Corrosion X has done its job. Now, you will notice the gloss, and in some cases, sometimes even the metal it still continues to drip. If you look at my little towel here, it's been dripping like that all night. So this stuff really gets all over the place. Personally, I'd recommend using a metallic bowl or something of that nature while using this stuff, but plastic works just as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and do it. The moment of truth. We've already did our sinking or bathing technique in the Corrosion X, and now we are going to start up our Raspberry Pi 3B here on the TV. So let's give it a try. Fully submerged in water. Let's move it around a little bit. But there you guys go. Corrosion X does the job again, firmly underwater. And as you can see, the operating system is fully loaded. And this is underwater and it is working. If you guys have any questions, you guys can email me here on my YouTube at any time. God, you gotta love this stuff. But once again, Corrosion X, I told you guys I live by this product. It does a firm job. And let me navigate a little bit. I don't want to get this wet because I actually use this for other things, and I didn't put Corrosion X on here, so let's go ahead and get this little USB adapter in place. Oh, there we go. So this is not a video screen or anything. You guys are actually watching live footage of the Corrosion X doing its job on the Raspberry Pi 3B. Fully waterproof. And guys, stay tuned. I will be doing a full walkthrough tutorial on how to set up your Retropie 3B Plus with your Corrosion X and new cameras, or actually new accessories. I actually have a few accessories I bought recently, such as the Super Nintendo case for the Raspberry Pi, complete with a built-in fan. And once again, from the Corrosion X family, Speed X, I'm Kiodiekin. Check out some of my other videos where you guys will see me waterproof some stuff. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. I've been doing this for a number of years. Look at that water come right off. You see it's still working. There it is, guys. Foolproof. My own invested money. Nothing here was a promotional material by anybody at all. And the good thing to know is the memory card did work underwater as well. So again, I had to cut away from that a brief second there just to make sure my connections and stuff were right. But it is working underwater. This is the best stuff you guys can ever get. So if you truly want to super cool your Raspberry Pi, if you truly want to super cool your Raspberry Pi, this is the way to do it. And this is not distilled water. This is the hard stuff that comes out of your fountain. In fact, I'm actually out in the garage and I fill this up with the water that comes outside to your garden area. So yeah, there you go. Can't beat this stuff at all, can you? Let's give it a nice good bath. Any doubters out there? Hit me up. Give me another challenge. And the peripherals still work too. Memory card works. Good stuff. Samsung Evo card, by the way. Thanks again, Amazon, for good merchant services. Oh, and I want to give a special shout out to all the Raspberry Pi groups out there who continue to provide forums and information so other individuals can get together and collaborate and get some help out there. I'll be available soon, guys. So hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is Kiodiekin. If you like this video, stay tuned for some other fun stuff. And please subscribe. And also click at the link on the link at the bottom of this video for more information as to where you can get your own Raspberry Pi, get your own Corrosion X, and you can follow my other tutorials on how to fully waterproof your electronics. Alright guys, this is Kiodiekin again. Sign out. Hope you guys have a good day. Hey guys, sorry for that interruption of that nice spectacular video. Pardon the interruption. However, I was woken up today with some questions or concerns and comments. People were wondering if that was mineral water. And so I decided to go ahead and move up the ante. Yes, that's 7 Up. Let's get it nice and wet. Thanks, 7 Up. Thanks for helping out today. Any more questions? Kiodiekin K-I-N. I bet you that tastes good too. Yes, experiencing interruptions because it's underwater. Or under soda, I should say. Yes, that is 7-Up. Should have saved myself some. Peace.